You need me to do anything special for you at all?
I didn't hear it when you were testing.
Can I do an action shot with you right now? Okay. Nice. I like it. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. All right. Start the applause. I like it. I'm thinking they might want to. Turn the microphone up. Will they do? Yeah. See. Awesome. All right. All right, welcome. It's nice to relax, have a nice plated dinner. Table 17 over there is being pretty rowdy. Actually, it worked. But there's no numbers though. I just made that up. All right. Well, welcome. It's nice to, I think, sit down and relax, have a plate of dinner served to us after a very, very long day of meetings. Very excited. I was, fortunately for myself, I wasn't able to see all the candidate speeches and see the winners. I was with the advisors today. But congratulations to all the candidates and for all the work that you put into running. Last night during the meet and greet, it was so wonderful to see all the displays that each of the candidates had that they had put together, that they really put a lot of effort into running and talking about why they wanted these elected positions. So it was very inspiring to see that and a lot of fun. So tonight, before we get started, I wanted to take the time to recognize just a few special guests that we have here this evening. So first off, I wanted to start with recognizing a group that, a newly formed group or so. It's been around for a little over a year, but MSCSA now has an alumni association that's up and running and has some very dedicated folks working on the cause. So at first, I just wanted to start by recognizing some of those folks and just ask them to stand when I say their name. The alumni board chair, Joe Gould. Vice Chair Heather Darby. Board Member Noel Lutzi. And Board Member Katie Sabin. So we're very fortunate to have a lot of the alumni that come back to help us with this. So if I could just have all the MSCSA alumni just stand that came back here for the weekend. That's wonderful. And there's one other group I did want to recognize as well. A lot of you didn't have the opportunity to see your advisors much today because they've been in their own meetings for the last 2 days, working, collaborating, and sharing best practices with each other. But I know that from the conversations that we have at our conferences, the advisors really mean a lot to you. They are so supportive and helpful. So maybe we could just ask the advisors to stand and just give them a round of applause, thanking them for the work they do. All right, thank you for that. That was rousing. So tonight we do a few things. One is we recognize our cabinet members for their year of service. And then we give out these annual awards, which has just been such a highlight of the year. We think about what we've been through all this year, and we come here till tonight. We just got done with a full day of elections. We've elected our new officers for the year. Regions elected their folks as well. And so now we can relax and just reflect on the year that we've had together. And the annual awards really showcase some of the top work that students have done around the state. Now, so this is the first year in a while now that I have not been a part of the committee that goes through these applicants and really makes the tough decision in narrowing it down to the winners in each category. And I have to say that all the awards are engraved with people's names under this podium, and I did not sneak a peek. I am very excited to be surprised, like many of you will be in the audience. So, I'm looking forward to that this year. So, with that said, I'd like to move into recognizing the first cabinet member, the Public Relations Coordinator, Will Tully. Will, do you want to come up? I'll take you right in. Come stand up. I mean, I just want you standing somewhere where the audience can see your face after some of the things I'm going to say. You took that as a bad thing. Maybe there'd be tears. I don't know. Yeah, you can. No, just right up here. Stand right up here.
Sit right there.
No, stand. Put an X there. So, Will Tully. So, Will is an idea hamster. He generates ideas as easy as a hamster running on the wheel in his cage. He has worked tirelessly to reimagine his work and role in the MSCSA. He approached each new student orientation with vigor and excitement, knowing the importance of being the first official voice to greet new students into the association. He designed giant magnets for the side of his car advertising MSCSA. Many of you probably saw with that bright green vehicle he has outside in the parking lot. And equally important was Will's desire to always be sporting dapper apparel at each event. Will's favorite knot for his tie is intense and time-consuming. I don't know if you can see it from back there, though, but that takes a while. And before mastering this tie, literally, I'm not exaggerating, it would take him an hour in the bathroom at our office to tie this thing before conferences. I'm not exaggerating. And we only have, one men's room in the bathroom, and so it takes a while. I think that your video work was really a highlight for me in reflecting on your contribution to MSCSA this year. His MSCSA videos were professional and on point, and then about halfway through, Kaylee appeared. How many people here have saw his videos? Yeah. So, but it wasn't Kaylee. It was actually this mannequin that Will dressed up like Kaylee. And, Kaylee sometimes made her appearance silently and just for a few moments. Sometimes she'd be just cruising along below on the screen. And, but I think that, that mannequin of Kaylee, it was more than a prop. It was really a friend. Because Will, he kept some unusual hours at the office. Many times Will would arrive at the office in the evening and he wouldn't leave till about 4 a.m. So I think all those hours alone, he just needed a friend, and he invented Kaylee one evening. So, as many of you know, I started my new job here a few weeks ago, and I'm working from home, and it's been lonely. So I swung back to the MSCSA office, and I borrowed Kaylee for. They keep me company during the day, But then it was weird because Kaylee, for my MSCSA job was, technically my supervisor. So I had my supervisor up on my half wall watching me. It just made me uncomfortable. So I thought, well, this just isn't going to work. So I made some modifications to Kaylee. So Amanda, do you want to help me with that? So this is my mannequin, Will, that's been spending time with me in the office. wardrobe malfunction there. So, Will and Will, you've both been inspiring role models and offered a fashion sense to aspire to. Please join me in thanking your public relation coordinator, Will Tully.
Got me. Thirsty for that so long. I just wanted to say that all those long hours spent at the office were spent making those videos you all loved. And not because I had some obsession with Kaylee, of course. And it was funny enough, on Thursday, I came to the office with the intention of taking this mannequin and using it for a prank. I had not thought that it would be used against me. And I was on a mission. I grilled every single Stabnet member on what happened to that mannequin, because it had disappeared an hour before I arrived. So, well, I had prepared some remarks, but what Justin represents to me is the idea of what all student leaders aspire to become. He was president of Mesabi Range Community and Technical College during the first year of the organization's existence and state chair of our sister organization, the MSUSA. And through his student leadership experience in the MSUSA and our great MSCSA, he has excelled in taking our organization to even greater heights than our students first imagined. So you can understand how hard it was for the cabinet to accept that he was leaving. But I do have some exciting news to share with you all today. I was just notified, actually, that our good president, Madam Schoonmaker, has handed down an executive order banning Justin Klander from leaving his position and a mandate that he continue in the service of the organization for an additional 9 years. Welcome back, Justin. I think we all wish that were the case. But even though we can't stop Justin from leaving, we can wish him well on his path to even greater professional excellence. So in that spirit, I'll remember Justin through the memories we made, the laughter we shared, and the tears that we shed together. Justin, thank you for the 9 years you've given to the association. And I mean it when I say our students couldn't have picked a better executive director. Thank you.
I'm really glad you didn't know I was going to play a prank, otherwise you wouldn't have said such nice things about me. All right. Oh, yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
All right, we're back. All right, the next cabinet member I'd like to recognize and call up is our treasurer, Matthew Rubel. You shouldn't be scared. So, I've worked closer with Matt than I have with any other treasurer in my time with MSCSA. During his time, he redefined the office responsibilities of the treasurer and took on many functions previously executed by staff. I suspect he drew upon his prior work at a law office where setting up a process in collecting and distributing collecting and distributing monthly financials to the fiscal committee prior to each meeting, and it's not an easy task when you consider the fact that sometimes these packets are, nearing 50 pages. You were able to execute it on time and had everything organized for the committee. You've really stepped up the role that the treasurer plays and left big shoes to fill. And one thing I want to plug here is that every chance that I have an opportunity to publicly recognize Matt for taking on the volunteer and unpaid role of being our landscape artist, I like to do so. That means he cuts our grass. And I just hope that recognition either fulfills you or shames you to continue. I don't care either way, as long as you keep doing it. It saved us money, so thank you. Preparing the proposed MSCSA budget for next year was a taxing process and started many months ago. This budget was different. It was our third year of declining enrollment figures, meaning another year of cuts. In our internal conversations, we felt there was no way to approach this budget without considering a fee increase. It would be our first in 9 years. Another year of cuts meant less programming, outreach, communication to students. But approaching the subject of raising fees on students is certainly a delicate one. Matt spent many hours preparing presentations that would help students connect with the numbers and understand the process and what their vision is for the future of MSCSA. It was always brought up in our meetings that this budget is a student's budget, it's not ours, and our job is to create a proposal that truly reflects their desires. And I think it's safe to say, after the association passing it, that you did a great job in preparing us for the next chapter. Now, I got a gay gift for all the cabinet members, of course, and I was trying to think of something special for Matt, and I know he's had to do so many cuts. And I was thinking, but Matt, if you don't know him real well, he is a classy guy. And he's fancy. I think that he's going to fancy himself definitely a business person in the future that's going to do very well. So I was thinking that an oversized scissors, gold-plated. So not only it represents the work you did for us, but then when you start that first business and have your ribbon cutting, you can use that scissors. So I went online, and they're super expensive. So I didn't get you one. But what was in my price range was scissors from Hello Kitty. Please join me in thanking Matt Rubel.
You guys will have to come find me later to see this close up. Right. Well, Justin, thank you. It's been a pleasure serving all of you the past year. It's been a pleasure and a blessing working with Justin. It sounds like I'm going to be the last treasurer to do so, which, is sad, but, Justin's got to move on. I hope you enjoyed the next chapter of your life, Justin. Although we've spent a lot of time together talking over the budget and in fiscal committee, we never got too personal, right? It was, business. Justin's a business guy, right? So something you probably don't know about me is good male role models in my life haven't always been there. And I really want to thank you for working with me. I know it hasn't always been easy. And it hasn't always been fun either. But, we grow together, and I appreciate the time you've put into our relationship. Jason Fossum, your vast knowledge of political strategy is something I really admire. Krista Eichhorst, you present very high levels of organization and execution. Even working on weekends, I see Dropbox updates. Amanda Skorich, it's been a pleasure working with you. Your hard work and dedication, the scholarship gala was fantastic. I really enjoyed working with you on that. Many of you may not know that she was a former student in our organization and a former board member as well. Haley, who's not here today, she saved me in a couple of MNSCU committees, so I really appreciate her support. Brenna, I'm just getting to know you, but I think you're a very good fit for us. I think it's going to be fun, you getting to know the cycle of our organization and everything. I wanted to talk a little bit about our experience as a cabinet and the journey we've had. Will, Kaylee, Carrie, it's really been a pleasure working with all of you. Will, you've challenged me a lot, and something I've told you before, and I really appreciate that you push me to be a better person. And you're always on the go, very fast-paced. Kaylee, you've led us through thick and thin, even through my attempts to derail our cabinet meetings. You have a great ability to stop the drama, which I really appreciate. And Carrie, even during your mom's passing, you showed a level of integrity and perseverance that I've never seen before. And I really admire you, Carrie. So to all of you, my colleagues, friends, family, I wanted to say a few words. I want to encourage you guys to get involved, stay active, continuously strive for improvement, and always remember that you can. Thank you.
I should probably give you guys these earlier. I'm more excited about mine. I got so excited about my prank awards, I actually didn't give them their real awards, so should probably do that. All right, our next cabinet member to recognize is our Vice President, Carrie Molesky. That's okay. We might have to share a Kleenex box up here soon. Let me know. Do you need some? Okay, good. All right, Carrie. All right. So it takes a while to find your leadership, your own leadership style. Many times, the person that speaks loudest is viewed as the leader, and I've seen many students over the years imitate that style and fail because it's not authentic. What I've learned and appreciate about Carrie is how real she is in her approach to supporting students. In many situations, Carrie is a quiet leader. She focuses more on listening and understanding others and their point of view before offering her own ideas and opinions. Many times throughout her term, she steps up to take on the behind-the-scenes tasks without the need for recognition. She is meticulous and efficient in her work. When faced with personal obstacles that prevented her from being in the office, she found ways to continue her work from home and continuing to make good on her promise to serve students as vice president no matter what life brought her way. Carrie is relationship focused. So many in this room have benefited from your listening ear. And people go to you because they know that you're not going to try to solve their problem. You're going to try to listen and help them find their own solution and not impose one upon them. So Carrie, for your gift from me, I have for you a heart locket with the MSCSA logo inside because you lead from the heart and you have always kept the students of the association within it. Please join me in thanking, I'm sorry, Vice President Molesky.
Oh boy. All right, let's see if I can do this. It's true. I do everything that I can with an open heart. Each and every one of you, whether I've known you for my entire life or I'm just meeting you, you mean the absolute world to me. This year has not been easy, and I didn't realize how strong of an association we were. You guys have always had my back, and I appreciate that more than you know. Justin, you told me it was gonna be hard, but working with you has been amazing. You've always had my back, had our back, and I can't thank you enough. To the staff and the rest of the cabinet, I'll share more tomorrow, but you guys are my family. You all are. Thank you so much for everything this last year. I love each and every one of you. Thank you.
And our last cabinet member to recognize, President Kaylee Schoonmaker. So well, I should probably wait till you get up here. I'm getting very excited. So since arriving at MSCSA as the executive director, I've worked with 9 presidents, and some of them were able to join us tonight. So, before getting on, I wanted to at least recognize some of them. Scott Formo's here with us. He was a 2-term president from 2006 to 2008. Scott, could you stand for a moment? And I'm looking in the room here. I know he was helping us earlier today. Is Jacob Littler, president from 2008, 2009. Is he still around? Yay, we'll clap for him anyway. And Steve Sabin, president from 2012 to 2013. With his sidekick, Kieran. And Kelly Charpentier-Berg, 2013-2014. And I wanted to just to recognize you while recognizing Kaylee, because I think that the work that we do as executive director and president, it's an interesting relationship through the year. I think it's always been very important for the executive director and the president to have each other's back and to work through issues that come their way. And I think that all the relationships I've had with presidents have been fantastic, and I think many of the relationships have been where we're really challenging each other a lot. And I think that's really healthy, and it's been great, and it's made us, I think, a good association to have that. I was thinking about other, traits that all of you might have. I was thinking about this. I think that those here, you're all very thoughtful presidents. You're very generous. You're very opinionated. You're very stubborn, and you're very passionate. I may share some of those qualities as well, especially the stubborn and opinionated. But in the stubborn category, I'd rank Kaylee in the top 2. And I should note there's a 4-way tie for second. The burden proof was always on. No, I liked it. The burden of proof was always on myself and the other staff to make our case when discussing legislative strategy, advocacy work that we would do. And you have been a terribly tough, relentless negotiator. Over the last year, you have given so much. You've given your full self and personal life to the students. You've given your creativity in inventing new ideas to motivate and inspire students. You've given students your full attention. You've given your best. You've also given Jason Foss and I gray hair. It has nothing to do with our age. It happened this year, and you're to blame. One of my biggest worries for Kaylee this year was keeping her ego in check. Because whenever we would take her and to a legislative hearing or to a Minsky board meeting when she had to testify and represent students, she put so much time into developing her remarks and thinking exactly about how her delivery was going to go, and then thinking about every single question that she would get and trying to understand, all the ways that she might respond to them. She put so much work into that every time that Jason would leave with her at the Capitol, or myself in different meetings, it would be this thing where I'd be following her with her coat, and it would take us a half hour to leave the room because of all the people coming up to her telling her how amazing of a job she does every time that she represents students. And I'm glad to say that you were able to keep your ego in check, and you've remained very humble through it all. So this rock star status that you've developed, it's and this year's been hard. You have this executive director that decided to leave, so it created stress. But also, talk about that. Yeah, there's this executive order now, so I don't. But it's been a tough year for those, and I think most of the room know that the strategic planning work that Minsky's been doing, charting the future, has been tough. The negative press on the Minsky system has been tough, and in many cases, our association was at the center of the storm. And our platform worked really hard to develop a great strategy, but I'll tell you what, I would say that Kaylee's execution of it was masterful, and it leaves us in a stronger place than ever. So Kaylee's thinking about transferring on to a different school. And as I like to do with most matters in our office, is I over-involve myself. And I'm a pretty proud Bemidji State Beaver, and of course now working for them. So when Kaylee was thinking about some schools, I'm like, gosh, Bemidji is not that far away from your hometown. Have you checked it out? Have you been to campus? So she hadn't, but I encouraged her, and she got up there. So after her tour and meeting with people, so I wanted to talk to her after, like, well, how did it go? She had a good experience. And I said, well, what questions did you ask? She's like, well, the first question I asked was, are there any good places in the woods to walk my cat? That's the first question she asked. I'm thinking, like, who in the world asked that question? What are they thinking of you at Bemidji Red? Anyway, so tomorrow, she's informed me that she's going to be sporting the new university shirt that she's choosing during our Campus Pride Day tomorrow. She'll be revealing her choice, which I do not know what it is. But I thought maybe she brought 2 shirts and she's still on, teetering, because I don't know which way we're going on this. So I was looking into some things that I can do maybe to help shift the weight a little bit. So I worked with Bemidji State, and we have a custom beaver green kitty harness for your walks in the woods. And a beaver catnip toy for your cat. Please join me in thanking President Kaylee Schoonmaker. And I don't care where you are.
Wow. The cat on here looks like my cat. Why stop at 10? Wow, okay. Oh my gosh, where do I start? Well, I want to start off by thanking you, Justin, for your kind words. Some of them, most of them kind. And, it's really true what he said, that we, and Jason included, really went round and round a couple times with debates, and it got a little heated at times. There may have been a few tears from all of us. And I think the most beautiful thing about that is we challenged each other, and we forced each other to think about things in a new way, and we always ended up with the best solution possible because of that. And then also we were able to come together at the end of the day and still be coworkers and friends. So it was really cool, really cool. And it really has been an honor to serve beside Justin, and I'm truly honored to be the last president that he works with. I think he did that on purpose. We've developed a relationship where we can really tell each other anything. I tell him about my boy troubles. He tells me about what his bunny did the other day. But seriously, it's nice to have someone around that you can put all of your trust in, someone that you can count on to be there whenever you need a friend, someone that cares about you. And Justin Calander's been that someone for me. We help each other grow. Like I said, he challenges me and debates with me until I see things from every angle, which is sort of like tough love, but is honestly helpful in the long run, because I'd rather have, Justin call me out than an angry representative or senator. And then Justin comes to me for help too sometimes. He's trying to get better at Facebook. It's a serious work in progress, so go check it out. And if you're really curious, go look at his Twitter feed, because it's raving, seriously. But all jokes aside, Justin has been an invaluable mentor to me, and he's become a lifelong friend. Besties! So I also really appreciate the kind words that Justin has said about my fellow cabinet members tonight. And I'd like to add to it. We came into this year as a group of individuals, and we leave this year behind us as a cohesive team. And let's just face it, it is hard to form a cohesive team. It takes work. We had 4 very different leaders, all passionate, all excited, and all very skilled in their area. Our treasurer, Matt Rubel, is super great with all the spreadsheet budget stuff. I think I'd be screwed without him. In addition to his skills, Matt is truly a caring person that's always willing to help out anyone in the office with anything. He's a team player that is willing to try new things and take risks, and because of that, I know he's going to be successful. And he's always had my back. He has my back when I testify. He helps me with my tasks whenever I'm swamped, and he's been there for me to lean on if I have a bad day. Our public relations coordinator, Will Tully, is definitely the dreamer amongst us. He's always thinking outside the box and encouraging us to think about things in new ways, which we really need sometimes. Also, he makes sure that no one in the office is ever taking life too seriously. He has truly brought smiles and laughter to our office every single day, and that's a gift that's too great to measure. And our Vice President, Carrie Molesky, my right hand, my co-pilot, my Veep. There's 2 things about Carrie that I really admire, and the first is that she's so dedicated. If you ask her to do something, it will be done before you can even finish the question. It's incredible, and she does it with a smile on her face. She has a work ethic that will take her very far in life. And my second favorite quality about Carrie is, I don't think I've ever met anyone so caring before. And you don't have to know her to realize it. I knew I could trust Carrie the moment I saw her. It's just something about her, and I have been so lucky to know her and learn from her. The 4 of us have certainly had our differences, but I can honestly say that we leave this year as more than just a team. We leave as best friends. Because we never gave up on each other. All of the debates, all of the tears, all of the laughs, all of the hard conversations have only made us stronger. This year has been one that I will cherish forever because you have been a part of it. I love you guys. Okay, so on to the next portion of the night. I have the great honor of announcing to you our very first award, the Governing Council Member of the Year. The role of a Governing Council representative is to schedule, organize, and provide agendas for regional meetings, serve as a voting member of the board, and establish and maintain communication with the campuses in their region, and actively advocate on behalf of the association. There was one representative this year that did all of the above and so much more. This individual was active, vocal, thoughtful, and open-minded in board meetings and in regional meetings. This individual has served on multiple MNSCU committees and has done so remarkably and fiercely. The student's voice has never been missing from the table when this individual is there. This individual established trust within his region and within the student population as a whole. Peers described him in their nomination letters, stating that, "I'm not a student in his region, but he's always been there to help me," and sharing that if he doesn't know an answer, which rarely happens, he will find it out and get back to you, as well as stating, "I am proud to be part of his team." I truly believe, as many do, that we need to lead by example. And I also know that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. This representative has led by example passionately and professionally, committing himself to whatever he is doing, always willing to answer questions or help out a student in need with his passion and enthusiasm that are truly infectious. The Metro North region and the state of Minnesota have benefited from your leadership. This year's Governing Council Member of the Year is Kevin Parker.
Guys, I don't know how much more I can take. It's been nothing but up. I'm gonna crash. I want to thank you, particularly my Metro North region, Jackie. Jackie always, whether you see it or not, she keeps me in line. If I'm gonna forget something, she makes sure, to whack me in the back of the head. And Parker texts at 9 o'clock at night. Parker, you remember that? Parker, I'm taking care of it, Jackie. But about 20 minutes before, I wasn't. So she kept me in line, kept me on task. To the rest of my region, for all of your support and the love that you've shown, thank you. To everyone else in the MSCSA, it's been one hell of a journey. I look forward to next year. I promise it won't be boring. And there's too many people to thank individually, but there are two people that I can highlight out of the whole crowd. Yeah, you know. I was first brought into Student Senate in general, and then brought into the association by two particular individuals who have been my role models in leadership and my mentors. And they particularly came into my life during a really difficult time personally and professionally. I can only describe it as a candle in the wind. And they shielded me with their hands, and they took me into their home. And they have been there every day, no matter what frustration. We've worked together as a team. If I had this year running as president at Anoka Ramsey, they listened to everything I have. They've given me their ear, their time, their patience, their wisdom, their love, and their faith. And you have no idea what that meant to me, and I will always love you both. And there's part of me that first said, there's nothing I can ever do to repay you. And then I remember, I'm not a, what can I can't do anything person. I'm a how-to person. So when you see this association next year, when you're back here next year, and you see that we are stronger, there's more communication, there's more engagement, and that we've pushed even more legislation, that's my gift to you. That's our gift to you. So thank you for everything you've given me, and thank you everyone for your faith and support.
All right, so moving on to the Platform Committee Rep of the Year. Each member of the Platform Committee is very knowledgeable, passionate, hardworking, and brings the thoughts and concerns of their region forward. Throughout the amazing nomination letters, we could see the impact committee members have had on their regions and the association, showing many deserving individuals who were nominated. One representative stood out in the inspiring words written about this committee member. One letter described the member as always upbeat and encouraging, and that they are always there to lend a hand with a smile on their face. Another letter said the member has shown time and time again that they want to be up to date with things involving the Platform Committee and will continue to ask questions for clarification and volunteers to do extra things just because he or she is that passionate about the work they do. In a letter from this member's mother, she states, his involvement is much greater than ever before. I have been told of stories that my son has a passion that is unlike many others. He speaks about topics informatively at large seminars throughout the state. He has shown great knowledge and organization in the events and topics at hand. I am very excited and proud of his accomplishments and accolades from fellow students and staff who I have spoken with. He has impeccable attendance and follow-through, all the while greeting meetings with a smile and positive attitude. He will stay after in prep meetings to get clarification so that he can better inform his region on association business. He volunteered at the scholarship gala and stayed to the bitter end. He has served the students and the association with passion, dedication, and is a friend to everyone he meets. I am so proud of the leader he has become since his first platform committee meeting last March. Please join me in congratulating your platform committee representative of the year, Nicholas Thorson.
Can everybody hear me? Fine? Well, I just wanted to say I am like really shocked and very happy because I know there's a lot of people on the platform committee that definitely were rock solid this year. And I'm happy to be up here receiving this. And everybody that wrote me a letter, I thank you 1,000 times and 1,000 many more. And thank you, Carrie, for being such a great leader at those platform meetings. And any questions, even if I couldn't make it, she was willing to meet up with me afterwards and have like 3-hour discussions sometimes. But she was willing to do it, and I thank her.
A Senate advisor is not just a person who checks up on the student senate and attends meetings, but is considered the rock and support system for students they serve. A good advisor will offer guidance without being overbearing, give autonomy to the Senate without being absent, and will always be the voice of reason when the Senate wants a 3-course buffet at every meeting. However, a Senate Advisor of the Year is someone who truly inspires and empowers the students they serve. They are someone who is able to develop an organizational culture that fosters a sense of collaboration and teamwork throughout their Senate. This year's recipient, in the words of their students, has been described as a strong and vocal advocate of student rights, even against the opinion of superiors. She or he is the type of leader we all aspire to become. Everyone, please put your hands together and join me in congratulating the Student Senate Advisor of the Year, Jennifer Rassett.
Hi. Thank you. I don't know what to say really. I didn't prepare. I guess I should have prepared something. I don't know. I guess maybe I could do this. Is in like my signature line on my email, I say something about like you're only as good as the people around you. And there are so many great people around me. Like my student senate this year is awesome. People I work with are kind of awesome, except when they pull pranks and do bad things with balloons in my office. And and all the other advisors are really awesome too. There's so many of them that have become really good friends of mine and confidants and help me through tough situation and give me different things to do. And poor Justin, where's Justin? Justin and Krista and all the other people at headquarters that have helped me out. And when I'm like, I screwed up again. So thank you guys for this. Like this, I don't know that I deserve, but thank you guys. Thank you.
would invite the Century College Student Senate to take a photo with their advisor. All right, guys, I'm going to tell you about an incredible educator. Being an instructor is no easy task. Instructors have to develop curriculum, execute lectures, prepare assessments, and spend long hours grading homework. An instructor of the year is someone who students think of as a mentor and friend when they look back at their education. Someone who they could turn to for the answer to a tough question or to help them solve one of the many challenges life throws at them. This instructor exemplifies all that in addition to serving as a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy. With over 23 years of service to our country, he comes home and he continues to serve us, the student community. This instructor can be found all across campus in search of student veterans who he brings to the Veterans Affairs Office. He makes sure they are aware of all the resources available to help them succeed. A student nominator described him as not only an incredible instructor, but also an irreplaceable mentor and my hero. This instructor is on a unique mission, a mission to help people and learn more about them whenever he has the opportunity, expecting nothing in return. His wife, Leanne, says he's so interested in everybody else's story, but he never shares his own. Well, maybe we can get a couple stories out of him tonight. It is truly an honor to present this award to such an incredible educator. Please join me in awarding the Educator of the Year from Minnesota State College Southeast Tech, Greg Cady.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I didn't realize one had to be so funny. You guys are comical. It was great. So, yeah, what a great organization, and very well organized as well, too. And that's a reflection of the hard work that you're doing. It will make a difference. And I came up here today with my family, all of a sudden I get a phone call. It's from my son. He's out walking on the beach. I could barely hear him. What? He goes, I know why they call this place Breezy Point. Because the wind was quite intense today, but that's just my way to overcompensate that I'm really taken back on this award. I'm quite humbled and honored. It's and my fellow Southeast Techers, they're here to support me as well, too, so I really appreciate that. But you know what's ironic? Throughout my entire life, my career aspiration was not to be a teacher. Sort of ironic, isn't it? I spent 18 years in prison. That's my line that I used to the high school students. That was my profession, but I get them every time. Talk to them about, why do you think I wear long sleeves? What do you think they say? Tattoos. And then as I get through it, I start rolling up my sleeve and they're all focused on my arms. So I have some fun with them. But anyway, and also the support of my family. Couldn't have done it without the support of my family, so I appreciate that as well, too. So when I was talking to Matt, there you are, he gave me a call, very excited. He leaves me a voicemail. I got something really exciting to tell you on a Friday. I'm like, okay. And that was it. So I call him back. I got his voicemail. It was a weekend. He called me back Monday. He got my voicemail. All right, I'll just tell you. You're Instructor of the Year. And I was like, wow, that is incredible. So I had a conversation with him. So I says, how do I prepare for this? He says, well, can you make it? I said, yeah, it's one of the weekends I have off this month. I said, what do I have to do? Yeah, give a speech. Okay, about how long? He says, do it under 30 minutes. Okay, I can do that. So, because I was thankful, because if it was over 31, I'd have to charge you all tuition. It's a lecture, right? So I'm trying to keep up. So anyway, I'm figuring, well, what am I going to talk about? I really don't know a lot. So ironic again, right? So I figured, well, I'll share my teaching philosophy. 4 things. 4 things. First one, create a safe environment. How do you create a safe environment? I tell you what, each of my students will know your name and something unique about you on the first day of class. Isn't that amazing? Think about that, you students right now. How many times have you sat in a classroom for 16 weeks and did not know the name of your fellow student? Isn't that sad? We got to take some time to get to know each other. What that does, when you have safety, well, with that, I have one rule: respect. You can't laugh at anybody else. Well, I give them permission to laugh at me because I have those bad jokes. But I say you can laugh with your fellow students. And actually, I have 2 other rules. We have a lot of students that go to work right after class or have gone to work beforehand, so I don't mind them eating in class. Do you know how distracting a bag of Doritos is? A bag of Doritos can distract the whole class. Going in there, grab it, right? So my rule is, if you're gonna have chips, open the bag up all the way, please. Then here's the other thing. Once you get done with the chips, you're thirsty, right? So they have that 20-ounce soda that they just bought from the soda machine and it dropped down. So now they open it in class. To be respectful. People are looking around. Just open it real quick. Get it over with, right? So once you've created a safe environment, it builds community. It builds community. And when you have a safe environment, builds a community, it helps one exhibit courage. And what do I mean by courage? A lot of times when you first walk through the doors of a college, you're scared. You may have to retool some skills. You're laid off. You've become disabled. You have a handicap. I work with a lot of veterans with PTSD. It is really scary. So you know what? The first one, remember, safe, right? Second, community. Third, courage. When you have a safe community and you have courage, I learned this last one from my wife. She helped me on this. Be vulnerable. And I don't mean that in a negative way. When we take some risks to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up. We open up ourselves for learning, to take those risks. So that's incredible. So I ask each and every one of you, and I commend you, because as you are here today, your student senate, you are making a difference in today's world. You're not trying. You're actually doing it. So I really appreciate that. So that's all I got. Just those 4 things. Hold on, I'm not done. Hold on. It's the spring semester still. You're students, I'm an instructor. I have to do an assessment of learning, right? What was number 1? Safe environment. 2. Community. 3. Courage. 4. Be vulnerable. Thank you very much. It's an honor.
And we would invite the students from Southeast Tech and family members to join for photos if you would like. They finally let me up here and they make me follow him. Oh man, great. Well, an alumni of the year should be a leader who current students can look to for a path in life, who a community can put their faith in, and who works towards leaving an organization better than when they arrived. It's an honor for me to be presenting the first annual MSCSA Alumni of the Year Award, and I'm even more humbled to be able to present this award to someone who I've worked pretty closely with within the association. During this individual's time with MSCSA, they grew as a leader in ways that were at times astonishing. Consistently putting the well-being of the association at the forefront of their priorities through countless hours of work to better the lives of students, and yet never losing sight of both the immediate need for results and a vision to be able to keep MSCSA well-positioned for the future. As a staff member, I was always pushed to work harder because of this selfless drive I witnessed from this individual. I was always amazed when I would arrive at the office early in the morning during the busy times of legislative session, and I know there are some of you out there that know what I'm talking about, those times of the year. And yet, no matter how early I got there, I was never the first one there. And trust me, that's pretty rare. And also, I will tell you, this is the only individual I know who sustained himself solely on pretzels and energy drinks. It really was something to behold. Dedication to bettering the communities in which he lives and his willingness to volunteer when needed are the qualities that describe him even still today. Most notably, this individual was recently elected mayor of the city in which he lives, and I know that he will make an impact in that position just as he has in his past. Please join me in welcoming to the stage and awarding the first annual MSCSA Alumni of the Year to Scott Formo.
That's okay, Keelan. I caught it. I really don't know what to say. This is quite the surprise, and I'm usually not a person for public speaking or doing a lot of stuff. I like to do a lot of things behind the scenes and don't necessarily like to be recognized in public. But the one thing I will say is that when I first came to MSCSA, it was one of the lowest points in my life, honestly, and working with Justin and Jason and the rest of the staff and working with the Student Association for the few years that I did, it helped to give me a very, very strong direction in where I was going to take my life. Everything I learned with this association still stays with me today, and I do truly believe it's one of the things that got me to where I am today and serving in the office of mayor of my hometown. And just as I did for the association here, I'm dedicated to the hometown too, and one of the things that I'll say is everything that you learn here is something that will stick with you for life. And one of the things, the other thing that I'll say is, don't take for granted anything that happened here. There's a lot of memories that come with serving with the association and things that will stick with you for life, like I said. But at the same point in time, it also can open the doors to very many possibilities and things that you may never feel that you could achieve. So thank you, Justin, for helping me to kick off something that I never thought I'd get to, and at the same point in time, continuing to support me all the way through, even to this day. So thank you very much.
So I thought I'd keep my introduction for our President of the Year short. College President of the Year is rarely someone that needs to be talked up, but I figured I'd do it anyway. Honest, intelligent, caring, and thoughtful. These are just some of the words students have used to describe this year's College President of the Year. This is someone who has always kept the Student Senate involved and is adamant about including students' opinions, ideas, and suggestions in virtually all college affairs. He is adored by his students and respected for his commitment to the campuses he serves. He's the college president we all wish we had. Everyone please join me in congratulating the College President of the Year, Kent Hansen.
Wow. This award means really a lot to me, and thank you very much. Coming from students, and I've been a student advocate for 24 years since I started teaching in 1991. Just to tell you a little bit about how my student advocacy started out, I started teaching in X-ray tech, which is a very complicated field with a lot of things to know, patients to keep track of, to keep care of. And so I started out teaching, and my colleague, when I got there, was always like, passing is 77%. You cannot let anybody get by with anything less. So the first couple of times when I had some students who were kind of right on that mark and maybe a little below, I consulted with my teacher, as I was a new teacher, and he said, nope, 77% is it. You cannot pass those students. So that was a little bit of a struggle for me. And so guess what I did the next time a student was like a 75 or a 74? I didn't talk to him. And I'm really happy because that really has gotten me off on my advocacy for students. And some of those students that got 74% are very successful X-ray techs today. And had I stuck to the line in the sand, I don't know what they'd be doing. So that kind of got me started off with my advocacy. But before I go too far, I want to recognize my lovely wife, Lynn. You know, without her support, I just wouldn't be able to do this job. And I drug her 6 hours away from all her friends and family and biker buddies, and that is never easy, separating biker buddies, so thank you, Lynn. I just wanted to also mention a few things. I really believe that I'm here for students. That's why we exist, is for students. You know, at Anoka Ramsey and Anoka Tech, we've got a little more work to do in serving students. We're getting better. When I first got here, I had to institute a few things, a few changes in philosophy. First and foremost, I met with my cabinet. We had a little retreat to get to know each other a little bit. And I insisted that we have an unwavering commitment to student success. That's where I started with that commitment, and that's where we are today. Again, we're not perfect, but we're working on it. Positivity, that's another big thing. I don't want people working with students that are not positive. So we've been working on that a little bit too. And then I couldn't understand when I started working at Anoka Ramsey and Anoka Tech, I'd get a student complaint and I would pass it on to the appropriate party. And I would bug them a couple days later, hey, did you take care of that? Did you take care of that? Did you get back to that student? Well, then I heard kind of through the grapevine kind of how that works. Well, Kent keeps bugging me all the time about these student complaints. What's wrong with him? It's kind of the feedback that I got. And so we have another rule that we instituted, and that's a 24-hour turnaround to student complaints. Maybe not solving them right away, but that again was also a little bit of a change in mentality at the colleges. So, but again, we're a work in progress too. I wanted to talk a little bit about my leadership philosophy, and those were wonderful words. Thank you for that. Thank you all for that. It is true that I really am committed to the students. And partially because of my upbringing as a teacher, I still consider myself a teacher. But I have to tell you about an experience that I had. I was an orthopedic physician assistant in my early 20s working with a surgeon. And we were doing a knee arthroscopy, and I had worked with several different surgeons doing similar surgeries. And I had suggested that maybe we go in with a little bit of a different approach as an orthopedic physician assistant and a surgeon. Well, he didn't like that too good, that I should give advice being an assistant. And so he stopped the surgery and said, let me get something straight here with you. Surgeon, assistant. Surgeon, assistant. Well, the next week I went and quit and went back to school. And I've been on a trajectory ever since. But the moral of that story is I vow to never treat anybody like that. And I really stick to that. And the other thing is, you know, that's a big deal. And so that surgeon really was very hierarchical in nature. I, however, am not. I don't necessarily fit the mold of a college president because I don't believe in hierarchy. And I look at people like Kevin and Adam and Shayla as college leaders, not just student leaders. And sometimes that philosophy gets me in a little bit of trouble with reporting relationships, and sometimes people don't like that because they might be the dean or the vice president, but that's just how we roll. And it's very important that we all adopt that philosophy, and it's one that I'm going to continue to push. One thing, another philosophy that at least I adopt, I haven't quite been able to get this on my cabinet yet, is we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we use them proportionately. And that means listening to students. And so talk less, listen more. And thank goodness Kevin and Adam and Shayla have a lot to say, you know, so we can listen a lot. Carrie also was president last year, and thank you very much for that and your service. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit, again, about not fitting the mold of a college president, anti-hierarchy. The other thing is, I think you probably know that Lynn and I are bikers. And sometimes when we're out in public, people don't quite recognize us because of the garb that we have on. And in fact, when I was walking in today, had my good Harley shirt on and my baseball cap, and that's how we roll outside of the walls of the college. So anyways, but I do think those experiences lead to being real, and I think that's what it's all about in a leadership role, is being real. Now, some words of advice to all of you leaders out there is I think the most important thing that you can do is be positive. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's negative. Trust me. I've worked with surgeons, and you know that isn't always a positive experience. And so if you can't be positive all the time, be at least positive most of the time. And that's an important message, and I would like you to take that with you. The other thing, always grow and learn. I'm always growing and learning myself. My cabinet administrators, the folks that work at our colleges are growing and learning, and that's really important too. Also, kind of another newfound thing for me, and I would suggest to you, is to read. Read a lot, read and read and read and read some more. I didn't really do that when I was in college that much, but I found in the leadership role it really, really, really helps. So leaders are readers, and so I would suggest to you that you read and read and read and read some more, because it really helps keep you grounded and moving forward. So again, thank you so much for this wonderful award. I love Anoka Ramsey and Anoka Tech, and I always will. Thank you.
So At this time, I would like to invite the Anoka Tech and Anoka Ramsey Senates to join President Hansen in the photo area. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So we're going to start with the next award, which is the Minsky Committee Member of the Year. As students, we all lead busy lives between school, work, family, and finding time to represent students on numerous campus and system-wide committees. The Minsky Committee Member of the Year Award is new this year as a way to thank a student who went well above what was expected of them on the various committees within our system. Students serving on a committee are very well informed, enthusiastic, and willing to speak up, being the resonating voice for students. A nominator stated that this student hasn't taken the administrator's word on campus budgets, policy, and consultation. They demand to develop a complete understanding in order to shape their opinions, and this thirst for knowledge has positioned them well to serve students in system policy work. He has continuously volunteered to serve on committees when there aren't enough student applicants, but he is humble enough to allow new students to sit on a committee in order to help them grow as a leader. In nomination, it said that he has taken his role of reporting back to students on the work of his teams extremely seriously and is always prepared and to the point with what students need to know. He is very knowledgeable with the work of his committees and is always willing to sit down with students and share his stories and knowledge in a way that even new students can understand. Please join me in congratulating the first annual Minsky Committee Representative of the Year, Richard Barnier.
Well, two things, I suppose. First of all, anytime you get a thank you from folks such as you, it is totally worth it. And that said, the amount of effort that went into this, maybe not. Not because I didn't enjoy it, but because it was just a ton of work. It's weird when the folks at the system office recognize you as well as the students you work with. It's a very strange dynamic. It has been and continues to be a pleasure to serve you all. And thank you for another year. Thank you for this award. And I'm really touched.
All right, everybody, the moment we've all been waiting for, the Student Senate of the Year Award. The Senate of the Year Award is a recognition not of one person, but a recognition of a team. As a cabinet, we've given numerous presentations about the difference between a group and a team. People can congregate in a room and not talk to each other, which characterizes a group. Being a team takes much more than that. It takes a well-polished team to execute seamless Senate meetings, maintain a high level of new recruits, and preserve relationships with faculty, staff, and administration across the campus. This Senate has accomplished these things and many more this year. They have created new events on campus, significantly increased their membership, performed a tremendous Get Out the Vote campaign, but most importantly, they have restored excitement to their students. They have also laid a foundation that can be expanded for years to come. To quote a nomination letter, our officers stepped up to the plate this year and hit a home run. Well, I can tell that this is not the only home run they're going to hit in their lifetime. Not only have they done an impressive job on campus, they have also been actively involved with our association all year. They have helped to connect the campuses in their region and have stayed connected with the MSCSA office, never hesitating to ask questions or provide feedback. This Senate recruited more students this year than any other school to attend a special conference and used the information they learned to spread a welcoming atmosphere on their campus. It has not gone unnoticed that this Senate month after month is making the long haul from the very corner of our state for every conference, showing up with a smile on their face and hungry to learn. Please join me in acknowledging the Student Senate of the Year from Riverland Community College, the Austin Student Senate. Now, I've learned over the year that Alexis isn't a very big, she's not very big on public speaking, so I'm going to invite her to say a few words.
Thank you. Guys, I'm so proud of you. This year I've met my best friends. I have never made friends like this in my life, and I just want to say, you guys are my, I love you guys so much. And everyone here who has come out and supported us, thanks, guys. Matt, thank you. He came over to our campus, and it meant a lot. Everything this year that we've experienced together, it has been just that, as a group working together, and I love you all. So thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.
So, our last award of the evening, Student Leader of the Year. A student leader is someone that, despite their busy life, dedicates themselves to helping the students around them, is active on campus, in their community, and at the statewide level. They stand up for the rights of all students, even when it proves to be difficult. They are open-minded, inclusive, innovative, and they dream big. Because the people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that do. This year, as always, there was one student that rose up and grew right in front of our eyes into an even stronger and more remarkable leader. Not only that, but this person brought everyone else along too. Because at a certain point, leadership becomes more about growing others, and this person did an extraordinary job of bringing others out of their shells and stepping up to the call of leadership. Our Student Leader of the Year was described in nomination letters as inspiring other students and breaking down barriers and stereotypes. Another nomination described their leadership as building a bridge to the community, and that they possess dedication, conscientiousness, and passion that is inspiring and an example for all students. John Quincy Adams once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." This student's actions have so inspired us. Her positive attitude and welcoming nature have drew all of us to her, and her passion for students has spread amongst us and ignited the fires within our hearts. She has come so far, she has reached so high, and I'm so thrilled to see where she goes next in life, because she could truly do anything her heart desired. And she just so happens to be crazy enough to think that she can change the world. I am honored that I was lucky enough to cross her path. Please join me in awarding our last award for 2015, Student Leader of the Year, to Estefania Navarro.
Wowzers. Okay. I don't know where to start. So I'll start by thanking my peers at MCTC. You guys are the inspiration and energy behind everything that I do. Staying late at the office, working for you all has been my pleasure, not only for Senate, but the student body at large. And nervous as I am, I do think it's funny how my first conference was in December 2013. And to be quite honest, I didn't like it. I didn't think I was gonna come back. But oddly enough, I kept my first packet, you know, that one that we all get once we check in. And I was cleaning out my stuff. I so happened to come across it. And I was going over the notes that I had taken for that conference. And two things stuck out to me. One of them was, oddly enough, questions that I had asked myself. What am I doing here? And what are some policies that can help students of color? Those who know me well, those who know me really well, know that those are things that I hold dear to my heart. I'm always about empowering others to find their motivation, especially if they're students of color. And so that's what I want to keep doing, even after I leave MCTC and MSCSA. I want to urge you all, the ones whose first conference this is, and those who are leaving, to find the goal. When you come back in the fall as a team, find that reason of boys. Find a reason to stick out and stay together. And for those of us who are moving on to greater things in life, find that strength and motivation to keep you going. I think that's all. Thank you so much to everybody.
¡Viva mi gente latina!
Okay, so there's one more group of people that we need to thank, and that's the MSCSA staff and cabinet, because they worked tirelessly to make this event so special. Thank you. So in closing, we have recognized the work of 8 individuals and 1 team tonight, who are all so special and so unique. Many would think it's difficult to find a commonality within them, but there are many. They're all working towards something great. They are the dreamers. They share a deep investment in growing student leaders, and they are dedicated to driving change in the state of Minnesota. They are changing their portion of the world every day, making it a little bit better. I want to thank everyone that submitted a nomination letter. As much as we want to celebrate each and every nominee, and many nominees don't know that their service is being recognized, let's congratulate everyone that was nominated with a round of applause. We had a large amount of remarkable nominations, and the selection was quite difficult. While it proved for tougher decisions, it also proved to us that we have an extraordinary wealth of leaders in our corner. Whether it's our alumni, who help grow this life-changing association by investing time and resources and sharing best practices with students to ensure that the MSCSA continues to thrive. Or our college presidents, who are mentors and friends to the students that they work beside. They seek to help us, they seek to include us in decisions, and they truly listen to us. They steer our colleges to newer and greater heights, maintaining Minnesota's reputation as a leader in higher education innovation. Our advisors, who are dedicated and passionate about growing student leaders, they serve as invaluable guides and they lift us up in times of distress. They are there year in and year out as we begin college and as we graduate. They are just behind the door to the Student Life Office, waiting to help out the next set of student leaders. Or our faculty, who invest themselves into their students' educations and commit themselves to instilling knowledge and wisdom in the future leaders of this state. They are there for us after class, they encourage us to get civically engaged, and they challenge us to think deeper. Or most importantly, our students, who inspire their peers to speak up, get involved, and dream big, who sprinkle passion throughout the hallways of their campus, leaving the student body in wonder and amazement at this phenomenon called Student Senate, who study, work, provide for families, and yet make the time to advocate on behalf of their peers. These students leave the people of Minnesota in admiration with their ability to hope, to dream, and to lead. Minnesota is a special place with a special higher education system and truly special people. And although Minnesota may be a bit chilly every now and again, our hearts will be warm as we leave here tonight. Again, thank you for all that you do for Minnesota and for the students. Good night, MSCSA.